just so they can look it up if they need to. All right, so we're going to talk about calculating volumes. So as you look through your assignment, what types of shapes do we need to calculate the volume for? And we're going to write down the equations. Good. So we need we're finding the volume. It says surface area. Don't calculate the surface area. We want the volume. So the volume, so V is for volume, and then I'm just going to write a little note for sphere. So volume of a sphere is 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. So we have our sphere. It looks something like this. I'm not a super good artist. And then our radius is from the center of the sphere to the edge. Okay, so that would be our radius. Sometimes on here, they're going to give you the diameter, so you have to watch out for that. So if they give me the diameter, what do I need to do to get the radius? Do you have any ideas? So the diameter would be all the way across. So how do you get, if they give me the diameter, so like on number 3, they give you the diameter, but the equation uses radius. So how do you get the diameter from, how do you get the radius from the diameter? Good, yep, we're going to split it in 2. So if they give me all the way across the diameter, then I'm just going to divide it by 2. That will give me the radius. So watch out for that. That's going to happen quite a lot. So all of our equations use radius. If they give you all the way across, that's called the diameter, and you just have to cut it in half. Okay? All right, so that sphere, that's the first page. And then we have some other shapes. So the next page. Sorry? Nope, we just have to we have to find the radius and plug it in. So 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. And if we have units, so the volume will be in units cubed. So I'm going to look for your units on this assignment. Make sure you put units cubed, and we'll do some together. Okay. All right, so that's the volume of a sphere. We are also, the next page says volume of pyramids and cones, page 2. So we are going to calculate the volume of a cone. Volume of a cone. And we're just doing regular cones. So we're doing ones that have a 90-degree angle inside. We're not doing like skewed cones. Okay. So our cone is going to look like a very nice cone. We have a circle, and this from the top to the inside is going to be a 90-degree angle. So we're just looking at beautiful cones. Oh, yes. Yep. Thanks. All right, so the volume of a cone is pi times r squared times the height divided by 3. And if we have units, our units are always going to be units cubed. Welcome. So because these are all 3D shapes, our units will always be cubed. So watch out for that. So the height of a cone is from the face down here, the bottom, to this point. So that's going to be called the height. And then the radius again is from the center of the circle to the outside. So half of the diameter. That's our radius. So you just need to find the radius, square it, multiply by the height, multiply by pi, divide by 3. And you should use a calculator for this, so you should always use pi. use the button pi on your calculator. We're just taking some notes. All right, the next type of shape that we're going to calculate is this one is a pyramid. Yeah, pyramid. The volume of, there's two different types of pyramids. One is, yep, the radius is from the center of the circle to the outside of the circle. So there's two different types of pyramids. So we're looking at if it's a rectangular pyramid. That will look something like this. We'll have, it just looks like some kind of cube. So we're going to do, a pyramid though. This is a prism, excuse me. So let's do that again. We have a rectangle, some kind of rectangle on the bottom, and then we have all the sides coming up from the bottom. So the volume of a rectangular pyramid is length times width times height, and then we just divide it by 3. So this is also a nice pyramid, so we need to measure from the top, the point, to the flat face on the bottom. That's going to be the height. And then these other sides on the bottom, the length and the width. Again, I'm not a very good artist, so you could probably draw a better picture than me. So that's the volume of a rectangular pyramid. And again, because this is a 3D shape, our units will be cubed. So if it's feet, our feet will be cubed at the end. Okay. All right. Okay, then the last type of problem on page 2 is a triangular pyramid. Okay, and so there's a triangle on the bottom, and then all of these sides come up from the edges. So that's our triangular pyramid, and our formula for a triangular pyramid is base of the triangle times the height of the triangle, the bottom triangle, divided by 2, and then we multiply by the height of the pyramid, and then we divide this by 3. So again, from the face, the bottom face to the top point, that's our height. And then our triangle is going to be, we have a base of our triangle and we have a height of our triangle. So something like that. So maybe I'll try to use pencil. That didn't really work. So we have our height here of our base and the length of our base. Okay. So that's page 2. And then page 3 is we're going to look at cylinders and prisms. So I'll slide that up. So this, I think these are pretty easy. So the volume of a cylinder, we just take the face of our cylinder and then multiply it by, so the area of the cylinder face multiplied by the height. So how do I find the area of a circle? Do you remember how to do that? Just the area of a circle. No? Okay. So the area of a circle is pi times r squared. Does that sound familiar? Maybe? Okay, so all we do is we take the area of a circle and then we multiply by how tall the circle is for the cylinder. So we go pi times r squared times how deep the cylinder is. So that's the cylinder. And we're going to make sure you get the radius again. Sometimes they give you the diameter, so we're just going to cut the diameter in two to get the radius. Okay, so that's our cylinder, and then we have two types of prisms. One is a rectangular prism. And this is the one that I tried to draw earlier. So it's just a box, some kind of box. It could be a cube even. And so we take the length times the width times the height. Length times the width times the height. And basically we're doing the same thing. We're figuring out the area of one side and then multiplying that by how deep that shape is. So the area of the face would be length times width, and then we'd multiply by how deep it is. So that's prism. And the last shape that we are going to calculate the volume for is a triangular prism. So we are going to use this formula. We're going to use, where did it go? So let's draw a picture of it. So we might have something like this, and all of ours are going to have some kind of 90-degree angle. So we want to use the sides that are near the 90-degree angle. So we have our triangle, and then we have some kind of height or depth. So we're going to use the same principle. So we calculate the area of the face and then multiply by how deep the shape is. So for a triangle, do you guys know the area, how to calculate the area of a triangle? Do you remember? Area of a triangle. So the area of a triangle is just, we take the base times the height and we divide it by 2. Or we can say 1/2 base times the height. So the area of a triangle is just half the area of a square or a rectangle. Okay, so we just cut it in half. So we take the area of our triangle and then multiply it by the depth. So the volume of a triangular prism is area of a triangle, 1/2 base times the height times how deep the shape is, the depth. Okay. Where did my stickers go? Here we go. Here's some I'll come talk to you about that in a minute, but you can try to figure out, or I'll come up. Okay, let's go over a few of these together. So let's start with a sphere. So our sphere equation is up here, way up here. The volume of a sphere is 4/3 times pi times r cubed. So during this, I would probably have my note sheet out. So let's do number 1 together. Let's see if we can fit that on there. There we go. So the volume of this sphere, so this is surface area. We're not calculating the surface area, we're calculating the volume. So the volume of this sphere is 4/3 times pi times the radius, which is, it's given us the radius 3 cubed. So then I can just plug that into my calculator. So 4/3 times, I'm just going to put the symbol pi in there, times 3 to the 3. Okay, we're okay there. And then I push enter. And it says round to the nearest tenth, so that means 1 decimal. So then my answer will be 113 point, I'm going to round, this is 9, so I'm going to round this to 0.1. Okay, so the volume would be 113.1. Now I have to decide what my units are. This is a volume, so my units, it says feet, so I'm going to write feet, and then because it's a 3D shape, the units get a 3. It's cubed. Does that make sense? Okay, perfect. All right, so I think the spheres are pretty easy. So I'm going to let you do those. Let's look at some of these second page ones. These are a little bit trickier, I think. So page 2 has volumes of cones and of pyramids. So let's do a cone and a pyramid. Are you okay? Okay. All right, so let's do a cone at the bottom. Let's do number 11. So the volume of a cone, I will have my notes out for this. The volume of a cone is pi r squared times the height divided by 3. So all we have to do is find the radius and find the height. So the volume here would be pi times, what is r for problem number 11? Can somebody help us with the radius? Sorry, perfect. I got you. 1. Good. How did you get 1? Perfect. Good. They give us the diameter. We have to cut it in half. Perfect. All right. And then the height is given here, 3. And then we divide by 3. So I can carefully plug this into my calculator. If I have lots of things on the top and then something on the bottom, I'm going to put this in parentheses. So I'm going to do pi times 1 squared is 1, I know that, times 3, parentheses, and then all of that is divided by 3. And that makes sense. This is pi. Or so there's 2 ways. So if I'm doing 4 squared, I can either do, there's this button right here, something square to the 2. So I would probably borrow a calculator. You can borrow one. Some phone calculators, if you tip it sideways, you get more options. Okay. Or if you find a caret, Aiden, so this caret, sometimes your phone will have this caret button. And oh, really? So you have to do 4 to the whatever you're doing. So maybe usually squared or cubed. 4 to the, okay.
I try to do that.
Do your phone, okay. So you'll have to figure out on your phone. So, or 3.14, which rounds to 3.1. So I would accept pi here or 3.1. And then our units are centimeters. And because this is a 3D shape, we have to do centimeters cubed. So I will be watching for your units on this assignment. Okay, so we've done a cone. I think the other tricky one on this problem or on this page is a triangular prism. So let's go ahead and look at, is there any, some of them give us extra information. Let's try number 8. So number 8 is a rectangular prism. So the volume of a rectangular prism, or excuse me, triangular, I'm just going to put triangle prism, pyramid, excuse me. So this is a pyramid because we have a point and we have a flat side. So triangular pyramid is, where is my notes? Here we go. Base times height divided by 2 times the height of the pyramid divided by 3. So this one's kind of tricky because we have to find three different variables to plug in. Okay, so what would be the base of the triangle? What would we use for the base of the triangle? Good, 14 centimeters. And what would be the height of the triangle? Not the pyramid, the triangle. Perfect. And then we're going to divide those two numbers, multiply those, divide by 2. And then we're going to multiply by the height of the triangle, or the pyramid. So this one is the height of the pyramid. And then we're going to divide that by 3. So I probably will do this in chunks. So I'm going to do 14. My lights are right in the way. 14 times 30 divided by 2 gives me 210. So I'm going to write 210 here. And then I'm going to multiply that by 24. And then I'm going to divide that by 3. And this gives me 1,680. And then my units will be centimeters cubed. Okay, questions on that? Does that make sense? How to calculate that? Okay, all right, let's do some on the back page. So let's do one cylinder and one prism. So somebody pick us a cylinder to do the volume of. $10? Okay, yep, let's do 10. So the volume of a cylinder is the area of the circle, so pi times r squared, and then just multiply by how deep it is. So volume here would be pi times, what's the radius? Good, so we take half of 16, perfect. So 8 squared times the height is going to be 28. And then we just plug that into our calculator. So pi times 8 squared times 28. I'm trying to find the number under my calculator. All right, so then remember we're rounding to one decimal place, so 5,629.7. And then what will our units be here? Good, meters, and it's a 3D shape, so we have to put meters cubed. So I am going to watch for that. Make sure you put meters cubed or whatever units it is. Okay, and now let's do a prism. So you can do either a rectangular prism with us or a triangular prism. So somebody pick a prism on page 3. Which one? Oh, were you picking a prism for us? No? 8. Okay, 8 is a cylinder. Pick a different one. Pick a prism. 9? Okay. All right. So this one, what kind of prism is this? Good. This one's rectangular. So we're going to use the volume of a rectangular prism is length times width times height. So we just multiply all of the sides together. So 3 times 11 will give us the volume. Oops. So 9 times 11 is 99. 99. And then what are our units here? Units. How about, good. Feet, what? Cubed. With a 3. Yeah, good. We're at the end of the day. on a Thursday. Okay, good. So I think you guys can go from there. I have my equation page up here if you need to borrow that. I will work on the key as well.